YouTube, what's going on? We have new information regarding development heroes across all of the states. However, there is some key differences between new states and old states. Let's dive into it all right now. So for every single state, the resource development heroes like Pioneer, Oil Tycoon, Carpenter, etc., Alchemist, they all got a buff to their 6th ability down here. So their 6th ability, now you get some troop stats, which is pretty good. Nothing crazy, but it is nice. So fighter resistance, for example, will be increased by 10 for Pioneer if you have her 6th ability maxed out. That's pretty solid. Nothing to complain about. Oil Tycoon, Fighter Might, Carpenter, Shooter Resistance, etc. Across all of those heroes. So that's really nice. A lot of people have those heroes maxed out by now. If you don't, you always can. You can token shop them and get them through a various number of different ways. I recommend if you don't have those heroes, it is something to look into acquiring, especially with things like base 30. You're going to be needing a lot more raw materials, especially if you're not like super old base with billions and billions and billions of materials. So it is just something to look into. It's not a huge difference, 10%. 10% fighter resistance. It's not going to make or break your base, but it's very nice to have, especially if you already had those heroes. Now, the more interesting part of this kind of update is for newer states. So newer states got 2 new heroes, Mad Eye Doctor and Mad Monk. Now, fun fact about these heroes, if you aren't a super old player or you were just unaware, Mad Monk was literally banned from the game for years because he is so overpowered. I'm not really sure why they're introducing him now. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about my idea at the end, but let's go over this hero first. So both of these 2 new heroes, Mad Monk and Mad Eye Doctor, are stationed in the Institute, so the research facility, and that's basically what they do. The first ability, they just gain XP whenever you're researching stuff. This goes just across the board, any tech, if anything that you're researching, he'll get XP. Now, obviously, you can just feed these heroes, XP, which probably most people do if they're getting these heroes. Now, his second ability, remaining research duration lower than 60 minutes. You can just complete it instantly. We've seen this on building heroes and even troop heroes. This just gets you, if it's below 60, you just click the button and it finishes. This is good. It saves you speed ups for sure. It's nothing crazy, but it's pretty nice. Now, here's where things get pretty good. Tech research speed increased by 15%. This will save you a lot of research speed ups and especially diamonds. Since this is for the newer states, people who are using these heroes are probably going to be pay to win, and they are going to be using diamonds to finalize their research. Now, this is really good all the way up until the end, basically, because there's so many different types of researches. This is just really good to have. His 4th ability, research cost minus 5%. Now, this is really, really good. This counts for all different types of researches, the actual cost. So that's going to be oil and iron and things like that, but also things like war badges and the other research materials required. You're going to be using 5% less. This is really nice because you end up using millions of these resources. So 5% is actually fairly significant at the end of the day. His 5th ability, budget control. This one's kind of crap. It is nice for new states because they might not have billions of cash. You just use 5% less cash. This is kind of the least important skill here. And then his 6th ability is okay. Again, probably the second least important. Siege Defender might increase by 10%. 10% is nice for sure, but it is Siege Defender might, so it's only when you are getting attacked by another base. So it's not just might. It's not just might increase by 10%, but it's definitely nice to have. And if you can get the copies, you might as well. 10%, especially early on, is actually pretty significant. So Mad Monk, pretty good hero. Again, so overpowered that he was banned. I do think his skills have been toned down, and he's basically been turned into Mad Eye Doctor. However, they use the same character model for Mad Monk. But now let's talk about the legendary version, Mad Eye Doctor. if you're hearing that, it is a crazy ass storm outside. I don't know what to say, but yeah. So I think actually Mad Eye Doctor is more closer to the hero that was banned. He is basically the upgraded version of Mad Monk. So his first ability is exactly the same, except it's doubled. You gain 120, but it doesn't really matter. That's just how you level him up. You just research. His second ability, remaining research duration lower than 60 minutes, can be completed instantly. Exactly the same. This doesn't even really matter. I don't even know if they stack. Probably not. So whatever. His third ability, so basically what I'm saying is I would probably skip this ability, or not really skip it, but it's just pretty insignificant. His third ability, text speed increased 30%. Now that's huge. Couple this with Mad Monk, and you're talking about 45% research speed increase. That will save you hundreds of thousands, millions of diamonds, millions of tech research, potentially thousands of dollars in cash if you're paying to win for diamonds and research and things like that. Fourth, research resource cost minus 10%. Again, really, really, really big. This basically is 15% less resources, which is huge, especially early game, where you're probably, if you're paying to win, you are probably buying resources straight up with cash. So this is huge. And I'm talking like you're going to be buying like oil and iron and wood and things like that. Not actually the research resources included, just the regular ones. This is just the cash thing again. It's nice, but I mean, when I was playing and I was building up my base, I don't even think I ever bought cash. So it is what it is. This is exactly the same thing, just super increased. 30% Siege Defender Might is actually pretty significant. With the 10% from Mad Monk, it's going to be 40 Siege Defender Might. That's a lot, especially early on. Now, he has two other abilities. Resource cost at minus 10% here on his seventh ability. So this will couple with his fourth ability and then Mad Monk's fourth ability, giving you 25% less resource cost, which is enormous. Again, this is the reason why this hero was banned for so long, for literally years. And now it's coming out now. This is the reason right here. And this is just compounded because of how many more resources or how many more researches there are and the different types of resources that you need. This single skill alone will save you $10,000 if you are paying to win. His eighth ability, tech research speed increased by 70%. This is just ridiculous. This will also save you millions and millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of diamonds and research speed ups. You can stack this. It's 115 total, which is just ridiculous. It's more than half. It's less than half the amount of time required, which again will save you hundreds of millions of diamonds over time. So these heroes are disgustingly overpowered. They probably will cost a lot of money to acquire, however. So the way that you acquired a hero like the Great Engineer, who was considered super overpowered early on, is you could just straight up buy him through packs, like spend $100 and you get a copy or whatever it was. I think, honestly, at the time, I don't really know how it is in the new states anymore, but it was something like spend like $300 and you'd get a copy of him. And again, you need multiple copies of these heroes to unlock all of their skills, so it wasn't cheap. There were also some other events where you could like spin a wheel and get fragments of him, or like if you spent, $500 in a week or something, you'd get a copy. I'm assuming it's going to be exactly the same, if not even more expensive for Mad Eye Doctor in particular. So I'm going to assume that this guy's going to be pretty tough to get. Mad Monk will probably be the more like free-to-play friendly, or less, maybe little dolphin spending. But I'm assuming Mad Eye Doctor is going to be very, very expensive. So are these heroes going to be worth it? Well, Mad Monk for sure, if he's free-to-play. Like if you're able to acquire him free-to-play, or any copies of these heroes. If you're able to acquire them free-to-play, definitely acquire them. The longer that you have these heroes, the more bonus that you get from him. So it's better to invest in these heroes as early as possible, basically. If you are a whale, if you are going to be spending a lot of money in the game, or you want to be, you start over on a new state, from an old state, you start over in a new state, and you want to be like number one, you want to get president and rule for several months and things like that. You're going to need this hero for sure. This will literally save you thousands of dollars and thousands of speed ups and diamonds and yada yada. So definitely, if you're planning to pay to win, get this hero as early as possible, as well as the Great Engineer. It'll just save you so much. You'll get to like base 25. I mean, in the early stage, base 22. You'll be able to absolutely kill everybody. Now, the reason why I think they're introducing these heroes now is I think they're trying to bridge the gap between new states and older states quicker. So older states are not going to be able to have these heroes, and they're not really going to be able to catch up, or at least they're not going to be able to like keep at the same rate. The newer states with these heroes will be able to catch up, at least in that research avenue. So I'm assuming that's kind of why they're releasing these heroes now. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about these heroes and why they're releasing them now. Obviously, money, probably. Like I said, this guy's probably going to be fairly expensive. They're probably going to make a lot of money on him. But if you think about it, it basically makes the whales who are getting this hero save money. So I don't really know if it's like money that they're going after or really what their intention is. I think it is to close the gap between newer states and older states. For example, when everyone first started playing, when we had our first like Clash of Zones and Clash of Zones battles, basically, the states that had already played for like 2 months compared to the states that had just started playing, it was just a disgusting disparity. You would just get blown up. They would take your world center and be, the capture and blah, blah, blah. So I think this is kind of what they're trying to do. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I don't really know. These heroes are just disgustingly OP. They were literally banned for years. I'm not even joking, because they're so overpowered. So there you have it. If you're a free-to-player, try to go for Mad Monk. If you're a pay-to-player, definitely go for Mad Eye Doctor as fast as you possibly can. If you know you are going to be spending money on the game, a lot of money. If you're not willing to spend that money, or you just don't want to, I don't know why I said not willing. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on the game, and you're not going to buy things like research and war badges and all the different types of diamonds and speed ups and things like that, then it's not really important to get this hero. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully it makes sense. Overall, interesting update. For old states, and for every state across the board, this update's pretty nice to these purple resource heroes. They're basically just more important and better. So now people will actually like invest in the tokens and things for them. For the new states, holy crap, this will definitely change things. The difference between free to play and pay to win in the newer states is going to be even bigger, even quicker. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully it made sense. Hopefully you enjoyed. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.